Welcome to Ideas at Work and Beyond. Today's issues are state and local budgets, in-state tuition, the medical use of marijuana, the BRT, and also the broadcasting of Common Council meetings here in Danbury. I know we have lots
Happy
more
Memorial
issues.
Day.
Wait, hold on. Lot more issues to discuss, and the panel will feel free to introduce whatever issues they would like. I would like to say thank you for saying this to me, Matt Grimes. Happy Memorial Day to everyone. I also would like to wish Matt Grimes happy birthday. Tomorrow will be his birthday, and also Alina Abrantes is with us. And I am very happy to announce that she will be celebrating 24 years of her marriage anniversary. 24 years. Wow, that is a commitment in itself. So everybody, welcome. To my left, we have Paul Trippi, Matt Grimes, Alina Brentes, running for mayor, Democrat, and Miss Lynn Tabersack. Welcome on the show.
Thank you. And where's Marty
Harvey.
Heiser, just so they know?
Okay. I almost forget about Marty Heiser. Okay, Mr. Heiser will be calling in. He is what you call in a remote
On
location.
satellite.
On satellite. He will be calling in with various officials from Hartford to somehow discuss maybe it's him, to somehow discuss the budget that is right now, what you call is dead in the waters. And I would like to start off the show with that because Jody Rail's budget is officially dead in the waters. Now, a lot of towns' budgets were based on Jody Rail's budget, especially Danbury. And I find it to be irresponsible for our officials, mayors or first selectmen, to base their budgets on Jody Rail's budget, not knowing that if the budget, was going to pass. And I would like for Mr. Grimes to somehow give us an overview of the budget, and then we will go around the table to have a little debate on this issue.
Well, very good. The state budget is a very important thing for all towns and municipalities, and you really just don't know, especially in a budget year in Hartford as this one is, and as Lynn went through probably about 5 budget years in her time, and then they called you back into special session every now and then. But yeah, the states and towns do depend on a lot of what Hartford does. I'd like to actually congratulate Marty Heiser, who is not here tonight. He spent hours on end as a Board of Finance chairman, very able Board of Finance chairman that he is, crafting his town's budget. And he was fortunate enough to get Ridgefield a 2.6% tax increase this year. And they passed both their town and school budgets on the first vote. For the second year in a row. That's a big accomplishment. They went 5 years where one of them passed and one of them failed. Reading, another town very important in the area, a 0% tax increase for the 3rd year in a row. That's because of a flat enrollment in the schools, actually a declining enrollment in the schools. Very little commercial development, very small town budget, very flat school budget. They were able to get a 0% tax increase 3 years in a row. For 3 years in a row, as Mrs. Ketchum has said, the same tax bills have gone out. Town of Bethel this year, they found some miraculous miraculous $1 million from CLNP, and even with a 10% plus increase spending on the town side, they were able to achieve a 1.3% tax increase. New Fairfield also been a difficult town budget-wise in recent years, and there's been a lot of controversy with the first selectman, Mr. Hodge, up there, 1.4% tax increase. Danbury, of course, passed their budget for the earliest time in history in the council, as Lynn told us a couple of times. But that leaves Brookfield and Newtown without a budget. Brookfield is going through a bad reval right now. They defeated the budget by 62%, 38% last week. Voters overwhelmingly thought it was too high. And Newtown voted down their 3rd budget for the 3rd time this past Tuesday. And I think we got a caller that's going to talk to us about the local budgets.
All right, thank you. Caller, you're in the air.
Yeah, it's Marty Heiser reporting in from the Prescott Sports Dinner.
Mr. Heiser, how you doing? We were just talking about the budget.
We were just congratulating you, Marty, on Ridgefield passing the budget at the first referendum this year. We know you put in a lot of hours on it with your board, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I was happy to point out it's the lowest tax increase in
Okay.
We kept it to a 2.65% tax increase, which was under inflation, while still increasing spending upwards of 8% per student in the
You okay?
But are you filling the potholes?
Does Mr. Marconi have enough to run the town?
Yes, I think Richfield's going to be just fine. The roads will be paved, the children will be all well scrubbed and educated, and the fields will be mowed.
And for every dollar you send to Hartford, you're getting about 8.5 cents back, right?
Yeah, we need to tweak that a little bit. Hartford's like a black hole. It sucks in dollars and spits very few shekels back to...
Make your way to the dais at the dinner and lobby your governor.
Yeah.
No, do you have someone with you?
On the Prescott Bush dinner.
Okay.
Okay, Lawrence Kudlow, the TV personality from CNBC, spoke. He talked about how the federal government, primarily the Bush administration, has done since 9/11. 6 years of an expanding economy, lower taxes because the stock market to skyrocket. The deficit is actually decreasing at a dramatic rate. It's falling like a rock, I believe Larry Kudlow said.
Okay.
The country has been safe and secure, and there have been 14 terrorist plots that have been foiled, primarily due to Homeland Security as instituted by that. Also, in addition to that, Fred Thompson, the Republican candidate for president, came and he talked about a disconnect between Washington, D.C. and the U.S., and then he also talked about the global war on terror and said it's not if we're going to fight, but where we're going to fight. So I think Fred Thompson was very well received by the Republicans assembled here this evening. And Jody Rell was here, and she introduced Fred Thompson.
Okay.
That was exciting, as well as I happened to see Mark Boughton walking across the room, so he was represented as well.
So, okay, so he's over there right now. That's good. Now, do you have anybody with you?
We can talk about him.
You know, we don't. The dinner is still going on.
Okay.
They're still giving out awards, so it's kind of hard to get some of these quasi-celebrities. It is wall-to-wall Republicans. You can't throw a rock in this room without hitting three guys in a blue blazer and khaki pants.
Boy, I don't think there's been that many Republicans in Hartford in a long time.
That's good. Well,
Stanford, all right.
call back when you have someone, okay?
Okay, I'll try to get some. Thank you. Bye.
And congratulations
thank you.
on your budget.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Thank you.
But I mean, Marty hits a very excellent point. And I mean, and Lynn faced this when she was in the legislature. Danbury doesn't seem to be facing it, but the people in Hartford, Democrat or Republican, it happened when the Republicans were in control of the Assembly 15 years ago. It happens with the Democrats in control. People are convinced that the towns in this part of the state are in New York. We always have gotten the short end of the stick. Only with the governor from Brookfield were we able to get the Route 7 bypass finally started. And because a lot of them come from the Bridgeport area, the Hartford area, or the New Haven area, and the Danbury area is always left holding the bag.
Well, let's do this. We have the Lena Brentis, who is running for mayor, Democrat, and I would like to get her perspective on the governor's budget with respect to the mayor's budget, because the governor's budget is dead in the waters.
Well, it is a major concern at this point because one of the proposals that Mark made when he presented the budget encompassed the budget from Jody Rell. And at this point, there is no budget, and we are counting on funds for our educational system that don't exist. And that, for me, is a very big concern, especially the size of our schools and the overdevelopment in our community where more students are going into our school system and we don't have the capacity for them to fit in our schools.
You know what's
Ms.
sad?
Lynn,
Yes.
Ms. Lynn, let me ask you this.
She voted against the budget, by the way.
You were a state legislature, okay?
Yes.
Now, this is my personal opinion. Don't you think it is irresponsible to have a town budget based on the state budget, not knowing if it's going to pass or not?
But Ivan, by now, we would have adopted a budget anyway. We did it early, but we had to adopt it by May 1st. So
Yeah.
it really amounts to a budget built on shifting sands. I think the most interesting thing about Hartford this year is there's this partisan confusion. Jody Rell came out with a budget that gave a lot of money to education, and that benefited Danbury. The Democrats went in the back room, and guess what they came up with?
A budget that funds education.
No, tax cuts. You know, what you want to
The
say.
Democrat budget has taxes?
Yes. If you have been reading your mailings, 95% of all taxpayers get a tax cut. And what that means, Ivan, is that the big ideas that they went into the session with, health care for all, an energy bill that really addressed energy costs and prices and made us self-sufficient, blah, blah. None of that's going to happen because
If you
we're
cut
going to get
taxes, you
a
cannot fund-
Republican tax cut from the Democratic General Assembly.
But I will
Okay,
point, I will
hold
point
on,
out,
wait.
okay.
We'll take this call, okay? Caller, you're in the air.
Good evening, good people. Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
Hi, Frank.
We were hanging out at the protest together in front of the Paulie, man. How you doing?
Hey, Frank.
Hanging out at her protest there in front of the War Memorial a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, good.
I'll be there Saturday.
Hi, Frank.
I think
Okay, let's make it quick. What is the
I
question,
did drive
sir?
by and
Hold on, he
wait.
didn't pardon me. Listen, the general public has no idea why our electricity rates are the highest in the country. They have no idea why our property taxes are the highest in the country. Len, you just mentioned, we have energy bills. They didn't put an energy bill together. They're not
they
going to do
didn't.
anything for our rates. Hold on, Tiger. Let me hear me out. Hear me out. She's thrashing at the leash here. Listen, the reason why we have the highest electricity rates in it, they came out with this consumer choice where we were able to buy our electricity from any any generator in the country, but we have the highest rates because of it. They probably took, your Democrat-dominated legislators probably took donations from these people. They didn't do it because they thought it was a good idea. They probably took money, as well as some Republicans as well, but they're not in the majority, so we can't blame them as we can for the previous Congress.
Okay.
That's why we have the highest electricity rates. The last session, they didn't reverse that law that they created that gave us the highest electricity rates in the country. We have the highest property taxes in the country because of the labor laws that they created. They took money.
Well, that is your opinion, right?
That's actually a fact. You could ask her. She's a former state legislator. Of course, she's not going to agree with me. She'll probably put her spin on it, which is her right.
Okay.
So anyway,
Well,
hold
Poor
on,
Frank
Tiger.
wasn't
listen, hey, Frank, let me tell you this.
Let me be a co-host.
Well, you are welcome to come
Okay,
here
I'll tell
anytime you
there
want.
go.
But listen,
Before
keep it
the
short.
parade started in Bethel, there was a gaggle of state legislators hiding underneath the pine tree, waiting for the parade to start. So I ambushed them. I put my cell phone camera in front of their faces. I asked Jason Bartlett and David Scribner and Kat Bieler, what have you guys done to working class people to make our lives better in this last session? They turned pale. Scribner started to shake. Jason
Okay.
Bartlett, it was like, they're not in it to help us.
All right.
They didn't know what to say.
You're right.
Au revoir, dude.
Okay, thank you.
Au revoir.
Bye,
All right.
Frank.
Well, he has a point. He has a point.
Why'd you hang
But
up
he
on
doesn't listen.
Because, excuse me, he keeps talking. We have a lot to discuss.
You know, when I used to do that, she used to get mad at me.
Well,
He's much
No.
more even-tempered.
I learned my
No,
lesson.
but Frank does bring up a good point, though. I mean,
What is it?
well, the good point is, and Lynn, you started to hit on it a little bit, actually, and I thought...
No property tax relief, no health care,
but I mean,
no
no.
energy.
I mean, I've got several good friends that work in the legislature, and there's really 4 budgets being debated right now. A lot of people don't know that. There was the governor's budget, which almost, was left to die on a hill, and now she's got a different budget that
And
she came
rightfully
up
so.
with. Yep.
It was a horrible budget.
Yeah, of course, it was. I mean, it got almost no support. Then there's the Senate leadership has the budget which actually raises taxes. The House leadership under Speaker Amon comes
Does
up
the
with
cut.
the budget that cut taxes, and of course, Representative Cafero's budget, which would shut the government down probably if it passed. So there's really 4 budgets being considered up in Hartford
That's
right
hold
now.
on for a
fine.
second. Hold on for a second.
Well, I call the first one's governor's budget doesn't count.
Okay, Mr. Graham, hold on for a second. Mr. Trippy just said that it was a horrible budget.
It was.
Okay, now, I have a question for you for Ms. Alina. If you are elected mayor right now, okay, given that this city will be in a debacle, given that there's nothing that will be done because we're not going to have a budget, what will you do?
Well, first of all, it's very difficult to say without sitting down and looking at the books in actuality to really see what's on the books in Danbury. I mean, you have to propose something. There are going to have to be some amendments. They're going to have to go into call some sessions so that they can discuss some of the budget loss that they have from
But-
Hartford at this point.
Okay.
I mean, you literally
But you
have
said
to
to look
sit
at the
down.
books, but
You
we know what
do.
the budget is for Danbury right now.
Right, but that money is not coming in.
We don't have the revenue. We'll always
But
have a
if it's not,
budget.
if it's
Yes,
not
we
coming
always have
in,
a
if it's
budget, but
not
the money
coming
is
in,
not
if it's
coming
not
in.
coming in, could you give me a couple of things
We're gonna
besides
raid
looking at the
Brookfield.
book, besides looking at the
Good
book,
luck, we
could
don't
you
have
tell
any
me a couple of things that you will do for Danbury, given that we don't have a budget right now?
Well, you have to go forward with the budget that you have, not counting on that revenue coming in, first of all.
Can I ask one, just a kind of a clarification point? In Danbury, the Common Council sets the mill rate.
Yes.
So can you adopt a budget and then amend the mill rate later
Sure.
after it's already been
Mill
set?
rate is not connected to the budget.
Yeah.
So the council has that authority.
Yeah.
You could say,
Raise
for sake
taxes.
of argument, we're adopting a $200 million budget and ratifying a corresponding mill rate.
Right.
3 months later, if the budget you were counting on does not come to pass from Hartford, you could then adjust the mill rate to meet the demands of the $200
Correct.
million
But
budget.
but
That
that's
would
the
be a
last,
bad
that's
idea.
the
But
last step.
it is possible based
Yes.
on your,
Yes,
it's
it
allowed
is.
through your charter.
But that is the last step that you want to take.
Of course it
Literally,
is.
you have to work with the funds that you have and just hope that somehow some funds come in from the state once they do approve the budget.
some spending doesn't occur.
Yes, or you cut in some
And
areas
I'm
that
told-
you
and I'm
Did
told-
you
can
see,
cut.
hold on, I'm going to talk to
Go
the
ahead.
Why?
councilwoman here.
Because she voted
We could
against the budget.
raise
Did you
taxes
see-
on Ivan.
Okay, we can do that.
You don't pay any anyway.
Money.
You don't pay any anyway.
No money. Now, okay,
What?
a councilwoman for
We could
Danbury.
tax BRT.
Question is this. Did
1.2 million.
Did you read the story the News Time did with the mayor complaining about Jody Rail is not going to fund the charter school?
When was that?
Magnet
The
school.
magnet school, yes.
Right. That was what is it? This week.
It
right?
was this week at the beginning of the week.
It was this week. Now,
You know, Brookfield has twice the seats we expected to in Magnet.
that's true. Now,
It's
how is it possible that you're gonna pass a budget and now, based on a future budget, you don't know if it's gonna pass or not, and then to go in the paper and say, hey, the
Ivan.
governor is not funding.
Ivan, we have a budget reserve, so that
Yes.
the mayor can say, you know, we only got 650,000 from the state to fund the deficit at the magnet school. We're gonna have to fund the rest. And when he makes a statement like that, you've got to believe that he's referring to our budget reserve, our rainy day fund, the stuff we have under the mattress.
So what
we're
is
required to have
so,
in the city.
So why didn't he come out or the Democrats come out and say that?
And say what? Don't worry, be happy. We have some money
No,
saved
but this is
away.
exactly what he meant when he said that.
Because people use doublespeak.
Yeah, but
They think it
the
sounds
average
very
citizen like
intelligent.
myself, we need to know what exactly is going on. That's why we elected the
That's
official.
very true.
If
But-
we
but
elect
if
you,
you
get in
have
office, we want
20
straight talk
Correct,
from you.
correct.
And
But
then
if you go
hold on
to
for
a
second.
council meeting,
Okay.
people can't open their mouth because they are cut off.
Yeah, but also, you have, hold on for a second, you have blogs now.
Yes.
You have, if the News Time doesn't want to publish the stories, you have the Spanish papers, the Brazilian papers, you have ways to get through to the public. My concern is why our elected officials didn't go to the media or go to your constituents and say, look, straight talk. This is exactly what the mayor meant when he said, when he made a statement in the paper. That's my concern.
See, you're missing part of the process, Ivan, I think, and that's that every department head that comes to the mayor's office with a budget has to show, and every head of a building that comes to Dr. Pascarella, is it
Yeah.
correctly? They have to come up with, like, let's say I'm a school principal, I'll use that example. They have to come up with a budget that shows what it costs to run their school, what they plan to do if they've got an increase over and above the contractual and salary obligations. They've got to show what they plan to do with the goals. These are the goals that I want to achieve in the next year, and this is the money I need to achieve those goals. And then when the mayor gets it and it goes through the council, hopefully all of them will have done their homework. And I'm not talking about this budget, I'm talking about any budget, will have done their homework well enough and carefully enough so that they can hold a budget up to the taxpayers of the city and say, this is what we need to run the city for the next year. And I will say this, over the years of Gene Iroquois and of Mark Boughton, the city has maintained its AA bond rating. The city has over 100% collection rate in taxes, and I don't think that we changed that much. I mean, the budgets have generally gotten bipartisan support over the years. I mean, Mayor Boughton was able to pass budgets under a Democrat council. He's been able to pass them under a Republican council. And I look at my friends that pay taxes in Danbury, and I say, the people that are paying taxes in Brookfield, God, I wish we could have a tax bill like that. I mean, my own aunt showed me the bills when there was a 9% increase in the budget, and she had a house on the lake that got a tax cut.
Okay, all right. Now let's leave it. Okay, what we're gonna do is this. We're gonna take a break. What's gonna happen is this. We're gonna have the news, and after the news, we're gonna show you a clip of what happened with the BRT.
Tax deferral.
Okay, tax deferral meeting that took place Tuesday, May 22nd. And after that, I'm going to ask Elena Abrentes to comment on what she is going to do about Danbury taxpayers becoming the victim of fraud in this city. She's running for mayor, and I think she needs to answer these questions.
Ivan,
Okay, wait. Let's go to break.